Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to US PAC's Grow with Google, our very fourth workshop. While we wait for some of our audience and participants to join in, we'll be starting shortly. We'll give everyone just a moment to show up. Hope everyone's having a good afternoon so far. We'll just give it a couple moments, clicking in. You can see our participants are starting to slowly come in. We'll be starting just shortly. Great. I see a couple more of you joining in. Welcome, welcome. Great. Oh, got a couple more popping in. Welcome, welcome to today's program. Okay, I think we're at a good point. Let's go ahead and get started. I know that especially in these virtual programs, we'll have a trickle coming in. So hello, everyone. Welcome to US PAC's fourth Grow with Google workshop. We are the US Pan-Asian American Chamber of Commerce Education Foundation, and we were established in 1984 to educate, train, and advocate for Pan-Asian American and other diverse and minority-owned businesses. We focus on building capacity as well as making sure that all businesses have an equal seat at the table, especially in America's growing economy where this digital presence is just so much more increasingly important. We've been around for 36 years, and you know that we'll be around for 36 and much, much more. My name is Karen Hung, and I'm the Vice President of Corporate Relations and Programs. I'm so proud and happy to be here with you all today. Today's, our last Grow with Google workshop programs, as I mentioned earlier, this is our fourth one. Previously, we learned about making better business decisions with Google Analytics. And then we followed that with launching your business online with customer-focused marketing tools. Two very important topics, especially as we know how the pandemic has taken over and many small businesses and Fortune 1000 corporations have all had to adapt and change alike. Today's workshop is very important as well. We're going to be learning about how to reach your customers online with these Google tools. And our resident expert is going to talk about how all these different Google search engine optimization, SEO, as many commonly know, can help improve your website and business's visibility online, which we know right now is totally king. There's a lot of different resources that they have out there, such as Google My Business, Google Trends, Search Console, Google Analytics, Google Ads, and the whole gambit that our trainer will go over that I can't even talk about even anymore. I'm honored today to introduce you to our fantastic trainer, Vivienne Kwon, who is the founder of ykcreative and an entrepreneur coach. Since the inception of ykcreative in 2003, Vivienne has really taken new heights and set the new bar for an emphasis on the importance of design and effective communication in branding and marketing strategies for businesses and companies locally and worldwide. That's why we're so glad to have her here today. With this higher demand for online marketing and stronger social media presence, Vivienne has focused really heavily on assisting brands grow and expand their digital influence. She's been really involved as an entrepreneur coach with teaching fellow business owners like herself and others, entrepreneurs and professionals learn about online marketing and digital communications. She's our expert. I'm going to let her take it away. Vivienne, floor is yours. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Karen. My goodness, I feel I'm blushing with that introduction. So let me share my screen. So welcome everyone. And again, Karen and everyone at USPAC, thank you so much for this opportunity. So hi everyone, welcome to today's workshop, Reach Customers Online with Google. The mission with Grow with Google is to help people grow their skills and careers in businesses by offering free digital skills training and tools. Today, we're going to learn how customers find your business online and what happens when a customer searches for a business just like yours. And together, we'll explore how search works and the 3 important ways they appear in Google search results. And this is going to be phenomenal for you and all of us. So we will also share some other digital tools to grow your online presence. And as you know, it's very important, especially during COVID times. Also in this workshop, as I'm working with Karen, she's going to be assisting me in answering some of the questions live at the end of today's workshop. And we want this to be as helpful for you as possible. So make sure to post your questions directly under this live stream video in the Grow with Google on-air site. We'll also choose the top voted questions, so make sure to upvote your favorites. Okay, I know you're waiting, you're excited, so let's just go ahead and get it started. Great. So how do you typically find the things you want and need? Imagine that, Google. Google is king, as Karen had mentioned. So take a moment and think about how you typically find and connect with businesses that you may need products or services from. I'll bet that many, if not most, of you start online, comparing prices, reading reviews, and doing other research. And you probably do this even more now than ever in the COVID era, placing a takeout order from a restaurant or shopping online. I bet you even prefer that more now. It's probably more comfortable than actually going to an actual physical store. So let's take a look at some of the statistics. So what would this mean for your business? Your website may be your new storefront, the first interaction a potential customer has with your business. Your online presence may be the only place your customers can connect with you or make a purchase from your business. So it's more important than ever to grow your online digital storefront. Looking at the stats, according to Google data from February 2021, searches for local plus businesses have grown by more than 80% year over year, including searches like local businesses near me and support local businesses. Imagine that, 80% just within the year. And we're continuing to see consumer behavior evolve. According to an Ipsos study commissioned by Google in June 2020, 61% of US consumers think buying and picking up in a store or curbside would be beneficial, even when there are no more restrictions. So our shopping experience has evolved just within the last year, even more so. So let's discuss different ways you can connect with customers online, especially those looking for businesses just like yours. And this is why you're here, so we can improve your online visibility. And then to continue elaborating on this topic, I'm going to be showing you a short video clip that explores some of the ways customers connected and local businesses in the last year and what they may be looking for as we move forward.
Celebrate. This past year had many challenges. People have learned new things, like how to make any situation work. I'm sure you're ready for this. How to keep going through tough times. and how to stay in touch while far away. Now, the small businesses they love are ready to welcome them back. It's time to find great places to gather and celebrate. To refresh and renew. See each other in person again. And explore new connections.
Coffee shops near me.
Now that your doors are reopening,
Hi, good afternoon. How are you? This is the part that you tried to cut?
people are looking for places in their neighborhoods and communities where they can enjoy special moments together again. They're hoping to discover new favorite spots so they can create new memories with people they love.
How are you? Good. Nice to finally see you in person.
So when they're searching for you, and you, and you, be there with a little help from Google.
How was that? Did you find yourself, were you able to relate to some of the persons in the video? I sure did. In fact, so much so, I bet you're sitting right next to your phone, because nowadays, including myself and my friends and my family, we can't go anywhere without our phone and without our Google app, all of the Google apps. So with that said, I want to give you a personal story just to kind of elaborate a little bit more from this video. So this is my experience with my shopping journey using the Google app and the Google Assistant. So, I just recently moved to the north side of Houston, Texas, and I'm not too familiar with the local area. And my friends wanted to meet me for brunch, and I had really no place to recommend in the north side of Houston. So of course I picked up my phone and then did a query on Google app. And I asked, what are the top rated restaurants for brunch? And I'm sure you can relate too. I mean, who asks friends now? You go straight to Google, right? So I did that. I did a little quick query. And then immediately the assistant responded with some suggestions. And I love it because it also includes the reviews, which I'm sure you intimately know, and pictures and maps. So that's the screen that you have on the left. And then to the right, you can immediately see how much I enjoyed my order. That's a picture of my meal. And yes, I'm one of those people who takes pictures of their food. So this is just an example of what's happening today. Customers are going online and searching either on their mobile app or on their desktop. And that number is increasing year over year. So in the next set of screens, we're going to be going over, well, now that you know the psychology, I'm going to teach you a little bit more about the in-depth of how that works on Google search. What are we going to have to do so that you can create more visibility for your business? So let's start with our agenda of what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about, again, how Google search works. What's under the hood? How does it actually work? How is it that it seems like all the questions we ask can be pulled in the search results page, right? And then right after that, I'm going to explain a little further on search engine optimization. I get a lot of questions from people and their eyes glaze over when I start speaking more technically. So today I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. But it's going to be very helpful because the more you know, the more you can address for your digital media marketing. And we're also going to go over how to create your business profile. So again, when people search for business like yours, then the goal is to have your business information come to the first page. On September 30th, our second session, we're going to dive more deep on online advertising because this is where it's more paid media so that you can have little ads popping up in the search results page. Okay, so I'm really excited. I know you're excited too, so let's dig right in. How Google search works. All right. So I'm sure you're very familiar with this screen. You go to google.com, or you can just go to the Google Assistant. So let's go over how it works under the hood. What's happening behind the scenes when you land on this page? As soon as you enter a phrase or a question or a keyword, there are a lot of activities happening behind the scenes. So imagine a library with billions and billions of books constantly growing every day, but there's no card catalog to help you find anything. And you're not searching for a book. You need specific information inside the books page. Well, that's kind of like what the web is like. A plethora of information just kind of floating in the cloud. But when you think of it this way, finding what you need seems impossible, but that's what search engines like Google are for. When a person searches on Google, they may start off typing a word, a phrase, like I said, or a question. And another way to put it is, it's a query. So you can kind of sound like you know what you're saying when you say, hey, search query. So once you enter that information, Google will then immediately display a results page. Google helps people find information on the web by sorting through billions of web pages and showing people where to find the answers they're looking for. Basically, search is a big piece of software that takes the query you type in the search box and looks for the answers across the web. And it's very fascinating. Now, this illustration represents an example of Google search results page, as you can see on your screen. It's important to note that the content and layout of this page may be different depending on the search. And the layout will look different if you're searching on a mobile device too. And I'm sure by now you're somewhat familiar with the results page, but if not, let's do a quick overview. What you see on this screen is typically the paid search when you advertise through Google, that ad, text or visual will pop up to the top. It'll always be on the top of the page, just right below the menu. Then immediately after, the big box that you see below the ad, that's the result for organic results. That's the content that should be optimized. Your website, once it's optimized, meaning what it means is your website or your content is designed and constructed according to the rules and guidelines provided by Google. And we'll go into more of the detail later. So the second box, the second row, is a display of results that is organic, meaning it's not paid for. So again, the box above it is for paid media and the one below it is for organic, unpaid. And typically, this is an important section to the right, the second column to the right, that is designated for your business profile. So if you don't have one yet, we highly recommend that you get one because it's free real estate. It's free digital real estate provided by Google. So please take advantage of it because it will be if you have that real estate, Google will rank your pages more towards the top. So I highly encourage that. Going to the next screen. So again, let's kind of take a little a deeper look at what's happening behind the scenes because it's really fascinating and I think you'll enjoy it. So first, Google makes its own copy of the entire web. It scans it, meaning through words and through code, and you call it indexing, it takes a snapshot of all the content that's out there, that's published. So an example is, it's like an index of the book, like at the end of your, like a thick book, you'll see a section of indexes and keywords and page numbers associated. What's similar in concept, so Google takes an entire snapshot and then you'll have a little, a code, meaning information so that pulling keywords and information that's related to your website. And this database is huge, around maybe in the trillions. So if a potential customer searches for the phrase yoga pants, as you can see on the screen, Google identifies all the relevant results, then puts them in an order of what it thinks are the most useful. And that's very important, puts them in an order of what it thinks is useful. So again, what it will do is base it on, what it will do, I kind of got lost here. What it will do is you will start categorizing the relevance of all the pages that's out there based on the relevant words, images, and organization. And it does all of this within fraction of a second. Okay, and then there's a lot of more details that's more technical, but as you can see on the screen, when someone enters a term or a keyword or a phrase, then Google will then look at the entire canvas of content that's out there, then start pulling up pages that's related to the keyword the searcher entered. All right. So then let's take a look at, well, what is search engine optimization? What does that really mean? As I mentioned, Google considers many factors when cataloging and ranking pages. That means there's more than one way you can help your businesses appear on Google, and that's also moving up in the ranks. So we're going to break it down on what it means. So when a search engine sees the word or phrase that you are inquiring about, again, it searches the entire database of pages related to your keyword, and then it'll pull a results page. And as you can see on the screen, the highlighted area, that's the organic results. So it's not paid. And here, what you will see is that the list of companies that's listed will be the pages that's listed will be based on the level of the quality of pages based on content, original content, and the organization. And here's a little bit more of the detail. You can see how the website for Trade Street Jam can appear on Google's organic results. And so how does Google decide what websites to show? So let's go a little deeper. There are more than 200 signals that Google considers to determine which web pages should appear for which searches. Organic search results are different than paid search advertising, as I mentioned earlier. And so what I usually tell my clients are this: Google is a business. They're not a charitable company, rather they are a for-profit business. So when a user or a searcher searches, then they want to be able to provide the best information, right? Or the companies that is best fits what someone is looking for. So again, they want to be able to rank up pages that best resolves what a searcher is looking for. So they're not going to just, so they're going to want to be able to qualify the pages that's presented, if that makes sense. So in order to do that, out of all the pages that's out there, they want to pull the best pages so that then Google can also be the best business provider for the searcher. And so for all the businesses that's out there, for you to be able to qualify for the standards that Google has applied, then you would have to follow those guidelines. And what does those guidelines look like? What are some of the guidelines to make sure that your pages, the websites or content that you publish meets those standards? Well, one, you have to make, okay, here are the benefits. I'm sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. So let's talk a little bit more about what SEO does. What SEO is important when it comes to managing a website for your product, service, or brand. When consumers use search engines, they are typically looking for a specific product, service, or solution, right? Sometimes they want to be entertained, educated, or reassured. And if that's the case, it's how you present your content that's going to matter. Regardless, they have a specific need or want that your website may be able to fulfill. Ranking in search results for particular keywords, topics, and phrases can help you connect with your ideal customer. So we're kind of building you up and understanding what this all means, what SEO means, and the importance of them. So this is the part that I find very important so that you can rank your pages higher in the search results pages. So just before this, again, if I can repeat, it's really important to understand the importance of what SEO is, okay? And in order to meet those criteria, here are the three main factors. One, you have to manage your content. You have to use keywords that you think the searcher is going to look for. So like yoga pants, if you have a retail store and you're selling yoga pants, then clearly use the term yoga pants, because then you have better chances of showing up in the search results page. And also, secondly, use page titles and descriptions. This is very important when you push your content, because this is more in the behind the scenes with your CMSs, whether you use WordPress or Wix or Squarespace. They ask you to enter page titles and or descriptions. So this is important because, again, these are the keywords that Google will index so that it will catalog your pages in its gigantic database. Thirdly, it's very important to be organized. Here's an example. I've seen web pages where clients have a lot of information. Sometimes it's about food, it's about clothes. They have a whole plethora of different types of information. And what Google then the way Google looks at it is it gets confused, because it's like, well, I don't understand the hierarchy of this website. It's like a blend of everything. So we're just going to place it here. But if you keep your website or content very organized and very specific, then it will know how to address your site and be able to pull it up when a searcher inquires a specific keyword. Hope that makes sense. So to summarize, again, it's very important to focus on content, keep the information very relevant, and refresh, meaning if you update your website once a year, then clearly you can imagine Google will rank your page lower because it's not being maintained on a regular basis. So keep your information fresh and relevant and what's trending. And so we'll get into Google Trends in a second. And secondly, remember to always properly enter your page titles and descriptions, clearly, again, tied to the content of your site. So if you're going to focus on yoga pants, make sure your page title has yoga pants and your page description has yoga pants, so that Google clearly knows that this site is about yoga pants. Now, how do you know if a certain keyword or phrase is trending? If you use a term that was popular 5 years ago, then again, your site will be pushed down. But if you were to, here's an example. Last year, the word van life, maybe 2 years ago, was trending. So if anyone even had a video on van life or a page on a van life, then the Google algorithms push those pages and content higher. So how do you know if your keyword or any information that you publish is trending? Well, voila, Google Trends. And this is a magnificent page, because then you can do a lot with this. So imagine, so let me go into the details of it first. Google Trends can help you research content strategies and refine your marketing messages for your website. And it shows the relative popularity of different keywords searched on Google over time. And if you can imagine, like if you have a retail store or you have a business and it's seasonal, okay, whether it's food and beverage, hospitality, or retail sales, clothing, fashion. Now the Christmas holidays is coming up and you want to be ahead, right, for the season. You don't want to be selling anything that was popular last year. You want to show that your business, you're a step ahead. So if you want to search what is actually trending, you go to this page, g.co/trends, and enter those key phrases to see how it's coming along across all those searches. What are people actually searching for? Are they searching for yoga pants or are they searching for ski boots? And that's a random example. And that's what Google Trends will show you. So activity, this is a section where we can actually give a trial run. Go ahead and open a browser and go to g.co/trends. And if you haven't been in here on this page before, it's pretty exciting. It's pretty cool because when I first saw Google Trends, it just opened up a whole new world for me. Being able to segment what keyword is popular in what regions, that was quite fascinating. And we're going to keep moving forward because we might be a little tight on time, but please do consider coming back to google.com trends and kind of give a test run yourself and see if you're using words that's trending. And if not, this is an opportunity to make a change. Okay, so the next cool tool is testing for your website speed and usability. And this is really important too, because I've seen a lot of websites with video and graphic designers love this, where they want the whole site to be just visually appealing and, exciting and so forth. But search engines don't technically grade the value of the website based on the visual aspect. Again, they do a lot of ranking based on the keywords, right? And also the efficiency of the website. So I want you to know that the speed of your website is important. The speed is actually load time. Have you ever gone to a website, maybe on your mobile phone, and you go to maybe a restaurant website or a retail clothing website and the page just doesn't load? You probably think, well, it's probably just my phone, I have a bad connection. That might be true, but if you're a business owner to that website, you want to make sure that you minimize that issue. And that's by keeping the site very minimal in the load time or the size of it. So example is if you do have video, make sure it's a very short video. It's not an hour-long video that you're going to play or loop. I recommend keeping, a minimum amount of images, maybe smaller images. It doesn't have to be a large, and be very cautious on the size of the image that you upload. Make sure they're low res, not high res. And if you have a web developer, they would definitely know how to optimize for that. Make sure the site is designed for the browser, and that's very important too. We know there are a lot of different types of browsers out there, and make sure the site is responsive. I'm sure you've seen this too, where some websites are not responsive to your mobile or a tablet. That's a little frustrating, right? It's very nice when when you come to a company site that it's responsive. It fits the display that you're viewing from. So as a business owner, a site owner, make sure you're sensitive to that for your potential customers. So the last column, resources. The good news is Google is very aware of this and they are on your side. Because again, if they make, like Vidal Sassoon's old tagline, if they make you look good, it makes them look good. So they provide you with all these free tools to help you. So then you can go to Google's Test My Site and Google Search Console. So going specifically, Test My Site, go to g.co/testmysite, and you're welcome to test your own website. Or maybe you can go to your competitor's website and kind of do a test or a comparison. And you get to learn more about what a viewer, how they would experience your business website. And again, more specifically to Google Search Console, this is when Google will test your website and it'll give you a general breakdown. Activity time. Okay, we're going to try to move quickly. Go ahead and open your browser and go to google.com. And what I like for you to do is search, enter a query for your kind of business. So if you do have a restaurant, maybe you may want to put a keyword related to what you serve. If you have a professional office, go ahead and like graphic design or a dentist, or enter a keyword and see what pulls up. It doesn't even have to be near me, essentially, because Google already knows based on your IP address where you're located. So it's going to try to pull up the business near you. Okay, and see what comes up. And if you notice that your site doesn't come up, well, then you have some homework to do. And if you were, but that's fine. If it doesn't come up, go ahead and check out your competitor site or the other businesses that do pull up and notice what they're doing. You think that is helping them pull up on the first page. And then go ahead and click on some of these pages and see what their site looks like. And then you can compare it with your site. And if your page does show up, well, that's fantastic, but don't stop there. Go ahead and utilize some of these tools provided by Google to make sure you're always staying ahead of the competition, because Google algorithms always change. Why? Because they want to be on top of their game too. They want to always stay on top of the trends. So they're going to be changing these algorithms. So one day you may show up on page 1, a month later you may not. So this would be a fantastic practice. Okay. So I believe I may have spoken a little longer. I apologize, but I thank you very much for your time. And I hope that you come back for our second session, because what we're going to go over then is on setting up your business profile page, as well as advertising online.
Great. Thank you so much, Vivienne, for that great information. So I know we did run a little bit short on time. There was one question that I know that did come up through the chat. Do you mind if we I ask you that before we close up today?
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks, Vivienne. So one question that did come up was you went over some recommendations for keywords and some how to stand out in SEO. Somebody had asked if there's a recommendation for keywords. Is it better to have keywords that are very unique to your business, or should they be more common? Should they be more broad?
They should be specific. The more specific you have, the better. So just imagine for your business, what do you think they're going to be searching for? So if it's a restaurant, they're not just going to look for restaurants. They'll be a little bit more specific, right? Whether it's Vietnamese food or brunch, breakfast. So the more specific you have, the more chances that your page will rank higher or be visible.
That's good. And then if you don't mind, I have a question for you, and then we can we can let our audience go. There's so many great tools that you've gone over today, especially with with Google. I know for me specifically, a lot of those were really new. How often would you say, in your personal experience, would you recommend a business to like regularly go and do this, Google search exercise on themselves in their industry? How often would you recommend someone to do that?
I would say at least once a month.
Okay.
At least once a month. The more, like I mentioned, Google is a business also. So they want to stay on top of their game and they want to be relevant. So they're constantly updating their formula. You don't know when they're doing it either. They don't make this mass announcement, we're changing, we're upgrading. So I recommend that everyone just stay on top of it. Because if you don't make that into a discipline, seasons will go by, months will go by, and then eventually you won't even be ranked.
Mhm. I think that's a great message for everyone to take away because, majority of our audience and our constituents here at USPAC, we're fast, we're nimble, and we can adapt quickly, right? Just like you, just like you in our organization. So I think that's a great way to go ahead and wrap up today's part one session. And again, thank you so much for being here. As Vivienne, I know you've mentioned part two will be on September 30th at 3 p.m. USPAC really thanks you for being here with us today. We are real people, real businesses, real stories, just like yourself. And on behalf of everyone, I want to say thank you to the audience for being here. I will also I also know as the programs department, I'm definitely not doing my job if I don't share some of the other upcoming events that are happening. These are all programs that we have created for you, all the small businesses in the audience. We have our one-on-one business matchmaking meetings coming up soon. Is going to be a one-on-one with T-Mobile. So all of our telecommunication, IT industry, the whole gambit, that is coming up very soon. We also have a Chief Procurement Officers Forum with Howard University, one of the top historically Black colleges in the United States. We have chief procurement officers who are going to come talk about the key successes in supply chain evolution with a special emphasis on environmental sustainability on the 29th. And then we also do have Vivienne's part two of Grow with Google about reaching customers online. So, and again, our events website, as you can see, we have a very large range of many more activities that are coming. Our national pitch finals, Business Express, a cohort business leadership program, and Goldman Sachs Business Roundtable. So I could keep going on and on. As you can see, we've got a lot of things to scroll through. So if you visit our website, www.uspac.com, you can look at our events page. You will definitely see all of the great things that we have created for you, with you in mind. Come check them all out. With that, reach us, info@uspac.com, our website. We're real people. My entire team is here to take care of you. And with that, my name is Karen, and on behalf of USPAC, and Grow with Google, thank you so much for being here. Looking forward to grow together. Go make money.